Night fell early in the American South, not because the sun had set, but because darkness was safer. In the 1700s and 1800s, night became an ally for people who had been told they were property. When the fields went silent and overseers retreated indoors, something dangerous stirred in the shadows. Hope. This is the story of the Underground Railroad. Not a train, not a tunnel, but a fragile network of courage built from whispers, prayers, and people who risked everything for freedom. For the enslaved, every day began the same way. Before dawn, bodies rose from dirt floors. The cold bit hard. Hunger was constant. Work stretched endlessly. Hands blistered, backs bent, years stolen. There were no guarantees of safety, no legal rights, no certainty that tomorrow would look any different. Families could be torn apart without warning. A child sold, a spouse sent away, names erased. And yet, in this world designed to crush the spirit, resistance never disappeared. It only learned how to hide. The Underground Railroad did not announce itself. There were no maps, no written instructions, only trust, fragile and dangerous. A wrong word spoken to the wrong person could mean capture, or worse. So information traveled quietly. A song hummed differently in the fields. A lantern left burning in a window. A quilt hung with a pattern that meant move tonight or danger nearby. These were not symbols of rebellion shouted from rooftops. They were survival codes. To escape meant stepping into the unknown. Most people fled with nothing. No shoes, no food, no guarantee they'd survive the journey. The North was hundreds of miles away, Canada even farther. Forests, rivers, patrols, dogs, and bounty hunters stood in the way. And yet they ran, not because escape was easy, but because staying was unbearable. Each step forward carried fear. Each sound in the dark could mean death or freedom. Some traveled alone. Others moved in small groups, guided by people known as conductors. One of the most famous was Harriet Tubman. Born into slavery, she escaped, but refused to stay free while others remained trapped. Again and again, she returned to the South, leading dozens to freedom. She carried a weapon, not to harm enslavers, but to keep fear from turning people back, because turning back meant chains. But the Underground Railroad wasn't built by one hero. It was built by ordinary people who made extraordinary choices. Free black communities sheltered fugitives, often under constant threat. White abolitionists hid strangers in basements, barns, and false walls, knowing discovery could cost them everything. Some were farmers, some were preachers, some were women who simply refused to close their doors. They called these places stations, but to the people hiding inside, they were miracles. Freedom, however, was never guaranteed. Even in northern states, escapees could be captured under fugitive slave laws and forced back into bondage. Safety was temporary, trust was risky, still the network grew. Not because it was organized, but because injustice created resistance wherever it existed. The Underground Railroad proved something dangerous to the system it opposed. Slavery was not accepted quietly. It was challenged every single night. What makes this story powerful is not its success rate. Many were caught. Many never made it. Their names were lost to history. But the attempt itself was an act of rebellion. To run was to say, I am human. I deserve more than this. That belief could not be chained. By the time slavery officially ended, the Underground Railroad had already reshaped America's moral landscape. It exposed the hypocrisy of a nation that spoke of liberty while denying it to millions. It showed that laws do not define justice, people do. And it left behind a legacy not of tunnels and trains, but of courage. Today, the Underground Railroad is remembered as history. But for those who lived it, it was a choice made in darkness, fueled by fear, faith, and an unbreakable hunger for freedom. They did not wait for permission. They walked into the night and rewrote the meaning of resistance, one step at a time.